It's getting good. Oh my goodness. So I just want to let everyone know that what we're witnessing going on right now on the right is essentially spy versus spy, okay? We have a bunch of spies who have unfortunately gone rogue, and people are losing their minds. Because what do you do with someone that you've trained? You give them all your tactics, you give them all your rhetoric, all your verbal judo, propaganda, all your ways to handle and combat narratives and to handle questions. What happens when those people that you so heavily invested in turn against you?
Oh, hell no! Hell no!
And that's what we're witnessing. For example, Coondace Owens. Coondace Owens always had a taste for grandeur, right? She always wanted to be bigger than life. That's what led her to who? Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk trained her and kicked her down the road, right? The Jewish, the Jewish road, the yellow brick road, the Jewish yellow brick road. And I don't mean that in any type of negative way or disparaging way, but that's who's been training her. Jewish people. Just is what it is, white Jews. So Charlie Kirk, and we see how Charlie Kirk was under the thumb of Israel. Then Charlie Kirk kicked her to who? Dennis Prager, another Jewish person. Dennis Prager got, milked her for all he could, right? Gave her a show and then kicked her to who? Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro milked her for all he could, and he figured, not too long that, her appetite was insatiable, right? He gave her a billboard. Hey, look, we got, Coondace Owens, gave her a show, let her do documentary, all that at the Jewish payroll. You have to understand, they were footing the bill for all this anti-black propaganda that she was spreading from all these networks. Get her on CNN, get her on these talk shows. That's what they were. She was their golden calf. Eventually, what happens? The spy starts to go rogue.
I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists. Like 1000% blame the Zionists.
So you have to understand when people accuse her of, oh, you're anti-Semitic, you're this, you're that, she knows how to use verbal judo and flip it. Anti-Semitic, that's ridiculous. Just because I care about my friend Charlie Kirk, that makes me anti-Semitic? Are you serious? Some of my best friends were as far as Jewish people. You see how they do it, right? The same thing when they say, hey, I'm not racist. I voted for Barack Obama, okay? One of my best friends is black and you're calling me racist, right? You see how they do it, right? So they got her, who is trained in the eyes of, Judeo-Christian, going out there slaying, and now she's turned, and now she's become, a crusader. That's what she's done.
I've paid you a small fortune. This gives you power over me?
Then you have Tucker Carlson. Now, one thing Tucker Carlson has that Coondace doesn't have is that Tucker Carlson is white. So if anybody's going to fall first, it's definitely going to be Coondace Owens. That's going to be an easy house to set on fire, to set ablaze, metaphorically speaking, of course, hopefully. But Tucker is now coming out and talking about, hey, once you gave me the boot from Fox News, all right, and Fox News, you saw the pieces that he was doing on Fox News. They were very much anti-black, very much anti-black. He probably got a raise for doing anti-black stuff. Tucker gets the boot. Now, what does he start doing? Well, I'm just asking questions. That's the same tactic you use when you're trying to accuse black people of being criminals and being genetically inferior. You're using that on them? Oh, wow, this is interesting. So all this time, I'm getting my popcorn, fam. Enjoy the show. That's why I advise people to enjoy the show. Advocate for free speech. That's why I speak to Nick Fuentes, okay? I speak to a lot of people. That's what we're supposed to be doing is free speech. That's what Charlie would have wanted.
It's kind of interesting. I've interviewed I'm doing this for 34 years, so I've interviewed everybody, most of them bad people, to be honest.
Right.
Anyway, the point is, none of those were controversial.
So he's using the same tactics that the lineage of evil has trained him to do, right? That's how you become a part of the lineage of evil. It's very much like Ra's al Ghul. Like, listen, you want to be part of the League of Shadows, this is what you got to do. So now this leads us to Megyn Kelly. And Megyn Kelly is apparently having some type of event. And she invited Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. Now, Megyn Kelly is very much pro-Tucker Carlson, pro-Nick Fuentes, pro-white nationalism and all of that. Now, she's very discreet, okay? Because once again, she's a member of the League of Shadows. She's a member, elite member of the lineage of evil, okay? And Megyn Kelly, how she goes about it, she'll never say, oh yeah, I'm for what they're saying, I'm for this. They always have a weasel way to go about it, to circumvent any type of actual answer. That's how they go about it. They'll never give you a direct answer. They go, the scenic route. So one of the tells she gives as to her being pro Nick Fuentes is her bringing a platform. And she goes on to say, well, I don't believe in deplatforming. Absolutely not. I think that's that's not what we do, okay?
The main criticism, as I understand it, has been, well, yes, platforming. They say that. I don't accept platforming as a valid objection.
Then she goes on to talk about, because Tucker had talked about how he had interviewed all these horrible people, and there wasn't this much, rah over the people he'd interviewed. And she brings that up. She's like, well, you know what? Nick Fuentes hasn't eaten anybody, okay?
Honestly, but as far as I know, Nick Fuentes hasn't eaten anyone. Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, and he was platformed by Diane Sawyer.
Given very soft defense to Nick Fuentes, nothing hard, okay? You give hard, you get nailed. But if you can play that middle game, that shade of gray, not really saying Nick Fuentes is a horrible person, I denounce Nick Fuentes, but also not saying, hey, he's the greatest person ever, what are we doing? We should all agree with him. That soft in the middle where, it can be easily, misinterpreted, mischaracterized. That's where these demons like to play. So she tries to play that game and it gets even worse. I mean, under a magnifying glass where the jig is up when she comes across Ben Shapiro, because once again, Ben Shapiro is also
Members of the League of Shadows.
a member of the League of the lineage of evil. Okay, we'll say that. That's what he's also. So he's aware of the tactics. That being said, when it comes to Tucker, essentially she gives a very softball question of, hey, why did you bring him on? Like, what do you say to people who are saying, you're platforming hatred and whatnot? And Tucker gives I gotta give it to him, just an amazing answer, a real amazing answer. And his answer is, if you don't like it, then you interview him.
Do your own interview the way that you want to do it. You're not my editor. Buzz off.
Damn. It's such a flawless answer. There are no cracks in that answer. Because what you have to understand, what is he doing in all this? First off, he's giving a platform to Nick Fuentes. If you don't like me interviewing him, then you interview him. What does that do? That then leads, well, maybe I will. So now you're bolstering and you're boosting Nick Fuentes. That's what you're doing without actually boosting him. Genius work, mind you. Then it goes to, well, if you don't like how I interview him, then you interview him, right? So he's not associating any blame or giving any, mischaracterization to how he interviewed Nick Fuentes. Because throughout his speech, what does he constantly say? Sometimes I get it wrong. I get it wrong.
I want to tell the truth as I understand it with the ever-present knowledge that I'm kind of a buffoon and I'm often wrong. I supported the Iraq War. I remind myself of that every single day.
Whipping his own back. Beautiful, right? Humbling himself in front of the masses so that people can see, oh, maybe he's being genuine, right? He does make mistakes and he's owning up to it. Beautiful, beautiful display. These people are masters of deception. They are masters of cinema, okay? And essentially, it silences any type of criticism. It silences that because you can criticize him all you want. At the end of the day, he's already admitted fault and he's already put out as far as the invitation for you to interview him. If you want to give him a hard interview, you go right ahead. Okay. Maybe I fell short. Maybe you can do better. Done. There's nothing more you can say. There's nothing more you can say. He has ended the conversation. Beautifully done. Master work. Okay. Then we get into Ben Shapiro. Now, as I was saying, Megyn Kelly, co-signing the foolishness. Well, Ben Shapiro, once again, is also the league, a member of the lineage of evil. Okay. And Ben Shapiro is aware of all the tactics and the rhetorical, jujitsu that they love to do. And, Megyn Kelly, upon Ben Shapiro saying, hey, Coondace is evil. That's what she's doing right now is evil. And Megyn Kelly, once again, tries to play the little, shade of gray saying, well, you know what? I'm not one to talk about, Coondace.
I think that what Coondace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay? And I say that, again.
But because I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not, but my position is it's really none of my business.
And Ben Shapiro was like, wait.
You lying ass bitch.
And she comes up with this just BS response. And it's really bad, okay? You can tell she's really the typical dumb blonde. And, it just is what it is. Because she tries to say, well, I'm not the nanny of the internet.
And why is it, but I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
What?
Even from someone who may be mentally brain dead, may actually literally be clinically a vegetable, okay, can see through that weak ass answer. You're not the nanny of the internet? What? What are you talking about, boo? What does that have to do with you calling a spade, huh? What does that even do? But the reason why it's such a bad answer, because it's such a soft milquetoast answer to such a direct question. He is saying and levying against Coondace Owens that, hey, she, is saying that this was an inside job and that Erica Kirk was in it. Now, you don't answer or respond to that by saying, well, I'm just not the nanny of the internet and, I just go about it differently.
Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch.
What?
That makes your cover is exposed, right? Your cover is blown out. And you're seeing a lot of people saying, oh, I lost respect for Megyn Kelly. I lost respect. It's because she failed, right? She failed. She clearly is a lower level than Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro called her out and she didn't have an answer. It just is what she didn't have an answer. She failed that answer. And it makes her look just very like she's trying to, do a defense for Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, which even though she's not friends with her, doesn't know her, and Nick Fuentes. So all in all, this is absolutely delicious. I'm loving every second of this soap opera. I have to admit it. I'm loving it, bruh. I'm loving the Coondace freaking conspiracies where now she's saying, hey, this is an inside job by TPUSA. First it was the Mormons. Then there was an undercover hatch where somebody popped up. Bro, it's amazing. It's amazing. And you know something? There is nothing more than white ignorance love that are conspiracies. They eat that up, bruh. They eat it with 2 spoons. They love conspiracies. So she's managed to tap into that audience and, slowly stepped away from, the whole conservative right. So it's beautiful. She's winning. You have Tucker Carlson who's going, hey, we got to bring the country back. I don't know what's going on. What do you think about this, Fuentes? Oh, that's interesting. You have Tucker, running game, running obstacle for other individuals. You have Fuentes who's setting a blaze, talking about, hey, we don't want any part of this. We want something for us. What about the white people? What about the white man? I can't buy a house for my family. And this is something that I've said, right? I've said, listen, all you white ignorants, do you not understand the Republican Party is hustling you? They keep on telling you to have babies, to have the white family, to get your birth rates up, but don't do anything to help you. Don't do anything to supplement that behavior. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe this, we got to stop this infighting, okay? We got to stop this infighting and bring it together for the midterms and the general election. Or if you don't believe, yeah, sure, absolutely. What infighting? What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about. Going down this path, you may even get a new party. I don't know. You guys are so ignorant and so dumb and so gullible. I'm actually surprised. I'm dumbfounded. I'm speechless at the stupidity that is on display. Hot damn. Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday. Disagreement day, number on screen, call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, let me know what you guys think, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. I'm not the nanny of the internet.